Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea for our Friday kind of wrap up for a long weekend, I guess, Labor Day this week, and I'm looking forward to it. 3 day, not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. If the fish, wow, the fishing looks good though, don't it? At least by here. If you take a look, those are Jack Crevalles. That's not. That looks like a Man, that's a Ciro. Oh, good eating fish too. Mackerel. That's like a mackerel, and those look like Bermuda chubs, but a bunch of Crevalle jacks, which are very aggressive. You can't eat them. You can see them chasing around the bait fish down there, and that's the end of my fishing show here. So this is obviously, as you know, the Deerfield Live underwater cam. I did see a cool, huge hammerhead shark cruising around here about 2 days ago. I wish I had kind of caught it on the show here. There it is right there. That's a mackerel. That's a Ciro. Those are great eating fish and a good fighting fish. I don't, they're not that big. They're usually about 2 feet or so in size when I catch them, at least. Well, again, let's finish up the fishing show here and move into precious metals. What do we got going on here? Well, I'm going to preface my beginning of my show with this. The last horse to the glue factory. Why the long face? And more or less, this is basically what our greedy government, our greedy bankers. Here's our greedy government, our greedy bankers, and here's our U.S. dollar, which has got trashed since 1913, more or less. Since we've taken it off the gold standard, it's ready for the glue factory. However, I got to admit one thing as far as economies go across the earth. The largest economies, we still are going to be the last horse to the glue factory. The ECB. The Asian currencies, they'll fall just as fast as ours, no less. We are the last horse to the glue factory. I've been talking about that for quite some time. And why I talk about that is a little article we're going to get into here in a bit, but going to be a short show today too, folks. I told you so as far as metals go and where we're going to be here with prices right now. Buy these dips when you can because they won't last long. And I believe that we're above that $1,800 mark right today. The employment figures came out. This is partially the reason why. However, it's really just the jawboning, and we'll get into that in a moment. And 1823, a low of 1809 overnight. 70 and a high of 1828, almost touching the 1830 range. Silver's kind of rebounded off that sub 24 level. 2390 is a low since yesterday's New York close, and a high of 2451, which probably just recently hit. Currently sitting at 2449, and platinum above that $1,000 mark. So it looks like all the metals except for palladium are in the green today. Again, don't worry about it if it's up right now. If you had planned on buying at the lower prices this last week, who cares? I mean, if you're in this as a day trader, which is the most dangerous and stupid thing you can do, especially with physical metals. I mean, if you know how to play that game in paper, fine, but in physical metals, it's just stupid with the premiums and everything. Don't worry about these. I mean, if you can hit these lows, great. But, again, as I've been saying for a long time, anything below $2,000 gold, anything below $30 silver, anything below $1,100, $1,200 platinum, maybe even higher. I'm just using low numbers there. I'd venture to say one day you're going to look back and say, wow, $2,000 gold was super cheap, man. I wish I had bought tons more of it. And you're going to say the same thing with silver at this level, and the same thing with platinum. I mean, we do it all the time. The thing, as I said, platinum and silver and gold, they're not going to go broke. They're not going to go Chapter 11. They're going to be around. They've been around for 5,000 years as a form of money and a units for trade and for jewelry and all kinds of industrial uses as well. The metals aren't going anywhere, folks. They're not going to disappear. They're not going to Chapter 7, Chapter 11. So it's probably the safest freaking thing you can own out there. Cash is not safe. What's safe out there to own? Precious metals, that's it. They have a track record, 5,000 plus years. And as I said, if you're buying the physical golden bars, if you're buying paper, that's not gold or silver. If you're buying well, I'll get into that at the end of the show, what not to buy. And that's pretty easy. I'm going to keep that lesson real short and simple, and also give you prices, what you should be paying and paying no more for on the product. If you don't live in my area, because if you come into my store, we're going to tell you right off the bat what you should stay away from and what your best deals are. And I'm not sure if you have a local dealer like that, but we'll help educate you a little bit here. And not too much to talk about in ZH. Just, God, shit news, man. Just really sad stuff on a daily basis. However, that's good for us gold and silver people. I hate to say it, but it's true. The decline of the dollar, the decline of the economic system, the decline of the political system, all play right into our hands. Again, in the physical aspect, as far as owning precious metals. Precious metals have survived every economic crash out there. Precious metals have survived every empire that's collapsed. Precious metals have survived every bank and corporation that's collapsed. Precious metals have outsurvived everything. Just remember that, folks, when people try to put a little nerve and fear into you. Oh, well, wait till it crashes, or gold is never going to zero. Not in our lifetimes, that's for certain, but probably in many lifetimes ahead. Unless the socialists get into control, then you'll get some digital credits or something like that. But gold is not going anywhere. And here, I went on my little diatribe there, my little spiel. And let's kind of just go down again, there was one article down here. Here's kind of reasons why things shot up. I expected it, though. It's just been jawboning. That's all Powell has done. That's all the government has done. That's all the central bankers have done. That's all the Fed has done, is jawbone. Jawbone markets, folks. And when you kind of catch on to that game, you realize, oh, hell, Powell's going to speak, or someone's going to monkey hammer metals this week, or whatever's going to happen. And you have the confidence, like I do, that big frickin' deal. They can do it temporarily, and again, all it does is provide a good opportunity for you or other folks to buy these dips while they can. But meanwhile, they can talk it, they can jawbone it all it's one. It's just bullshit, folks. Metals are going to do extremely well in the upcoming environments that we're looking at. We're looking at, potentially political collapses, economic collapses. I mean, all kinds of things. Are we in the decline of the empire? Yes. Are we in the decline of the U.S. dollar and central banks and fiat currency? Yes, we are. How far in decline? Are we going to hit bottom soon? That's the question. I don't think so, but we're not too far from bottom on a couple of these things. That's for darn sure. That's for darn sure. Let me move down here again. This is kind of the reason why we saw metal shoot up a little bit this week. However, anyone that's in the precious metals business that's buying and selling gold, the only way you would have sold before this, and then the only reason you wouldn't see metals going up is that you fell for the jawboning, or that you're a sucker for the jawboning. Because again, I didn't care what the job report said today, whether it was up or down. Even if they said the job reports today was fantastic and it shot gold down $100. Really, I mean, I'd be a little pissy about it because I've got some positions and stuff. I'd lose money on it. However, you folks out there are not in the same position as me. I do buy stuff and don't lay it off and don't hedge it, so I can get caught in these markets. And I don't have the time or the luxury in the business. Now, my personal stuff's a whole different thing, but in the business, I don't always have the luxury of sitting and hanging and waiting on to it. For me, it's working capital. So if I take a big position, don't lay it off, don't hedge it, and metals goes down, I get hurt. But you folks, not at all, man. You just wait it out. Don't panic. That's the worst thing you can do. The only reason I end up losing money occasionally, again, because didn't expect it, kind of came out of the blue. However, for a long time, I don't make these trades on Fridays and Mondays. I always figure if I'm going to buy gold and silver, I'll wait. If I need to fill a big order, or an order for a personal inventory and stuff, I'll wait till Fridays or Mondays where it's likely that it's going to get hammered, and the rest of the days could be up days. But sometimes that works against me, but mostly it has worked well for me because I understand the patterns. I see what's going on. I know the monkey hammer. I know who the players are. I know who I know what the casino does and how they do it. So for me, when I see big hits, no worries. And we didn't see that again. Gold taper today, huge miss in jobs. That's just nonsense. Gold is going to continue to go up regardless. The only reason it backed off a little bit before the jobs report is just some kind of monkey hammering or stupid people that don't understand this market. Again, that's just my opinion, folks. Moving down here, let's take a look. I don't think there's anything in ZH here that we really need to talk about. This article right here, gold and crypto jump as dollars, bonds, and stocks dump after big jobs miss. The taper is off. And I could click this article, but more or less, jawboning, taper off, taper on, we're going to raise rates at some point here. They can't raise rates. We know that for a long time. They can do a little tiny rate raise, but are we going to see interest rates again? 3%, 4%, 5, 6, 7. I kind of seriously doubt it unless the Fed and the central bankers throw their governments under the bus. Unless the Fed throws the U.S. government under the bus and the Treasury under the bus, which is a possibility. We talked about that a little while ago, too. I mean, everyone's assuming that the Fed is going to work with the government as far as keeping the interest rates low so they can borrow at a low rate and continue to spend their way out of this mess, or think that they're going to spend their way out of this mess. It's possible maybe the Fed will just say at some point to this administration or another administration, and they probably should have done it a long time ago, but again, these guys are several chess moves ahead of most everyone else, and governments are pretty damn stupid. They're several chess moves behind everyone else. So, and we're ahead of the game too as well, folks. We know how the game is played, but the Fed could end up raising rates and screwing this administration. I don't think these central bankers have a lot of love for the current administration, the socialists and the Marxists that are behind them, especially with the regulations and anti-capitalist and stuff. Do you really believe these central bankers, if they're going to drop the hammer on anybody, it'll be under this administration, trust me. So it is possible that we could see interest rates rise, but again, that's a whole different, that's not even conspiracy, that's just what I'm thinking is a possibility. In that case, would you have to worry if interest rates rose? In an inflationary environment like 1980s, no. Think about this. Gold was in the 800s. It was sailing. I mean, in $1980. Think about $800 gold, folks. That's huge. I don't even know what that would be today. Double, triple, quadruple that price. Silver was $50 in 1980. Again, think of that in dollars today. That's huge. What was that, $500, $300? I don't know. I don't know how to do the math. I've heard different people say different things, but metals were huge in 1980s. The prices were way high. Had to do with an inflationary environment, and silver had a little bit to do with the Hunt brothers, although people like to claim that, the Hunt brothers created that market. No frickin' way. Anybody that tells you the Hunt brothers created the 1980 market, now they helped take that 80s silver market and pump it way over the edge. They definitely did that, but they didn't create that 1980s gold and silver market. So anyone that tells you, as soon as you hear someone say, what's the Hunt brothers market, or they created that, bullshit. That person doesn't know what they're talking about. The Hunt brothers just went along for the ride and took advantage of not central banks, took advantage of the bullion banks who did not own the gold that they claimed to own, and they stuck it up their asses. And then eventually the bullion banks stuck it back up the Hunts' butts. So, but the Hunts were playing the game. They did the game legal, but the casino changed the rules on the Hunt. That's why the Hunts ended up really getting screwed on that deal. But that's we've talked about that many times, and it's a whole different story. So big jobs miss is the reason why. But think about this: 1980s, as I was just saying. Gosh, I almost forgot the whole point of that. What I was talking about was 1980 was that the interest rates were also extremely high. Remember, CDs were, for those of you who were around at this point, CDs were what, 8%, 9%? Gold was still $700-800. So all these financial folks out here, all these technical people that say, as soon as the Fed starts raising interest rates, then gold's going to take a shit. They're clueless. Either that or they're completely ignoring what happened back then. Now, trends may tell you that in the last 20 years because you've been in a major uber bubble of an equities bull market, which is really a huge bubble created by cheap money fueled by credit. That's why you've got a uber stock market going on right now, and why that market's hot. People are going to continue to put money in there rather than gold. However, when the tides turn, trust me, folks, you're going to see a lot of people turn to gold and silver, and that's why I say when the tides really turn, you're going to see you're going to wake up one morning and go, holy crap, what happened? Anyways, and the whales will get in first. The whales will jump in with both feet first, and that's why you'll see a huge up one morning when you wake up, because the whales just jumped in. They knew it was happening, and then they'll get followed by other whales, and then the general public will jump in, and then we'll be in gold territory and silver territory that we've never seen before. And it's going to happen. Again, keep buying these dips when you can, and if you don't buy the dips or you're just unlucky with dips, just buy the stuff. Relax. You're in a great situation out there, folks. And gosh, this is not really good. The one thing that bothers me is all the economic and political stuff. Well, what the F is our government thinking of? Why would us or Europe want to get back into a pissing contest with the Russians or a pissing contest with the Chinese? Well, the Chinese, I get it a little bit right now. However, there is an effort out there to demonize the Chinese people and get Americans to hate the Chinese. I hate the CCP government. I don't like the Chinese Communist government. I don't trust them. I wouldn't deal with them. However, the Chinese people, the country of China, it's a wonderful country. It has wonderful people, and but their government sucks. But we can say that here as well. However, there has been a demonization of the Chinese people out there, which I think is dangerous. We'd better not get into that. Same thing with the Russian people. Russian people are great. So a lot of people may give Putin some shit, and he's just as bad as any other strong-arm country's people out there. But we just don't need another pissing war. I mean, I grew up in that environment, and some of you who are a little older than me remember the duck and cover deal. Do we need that again? Even if it caused gold to go up. Well, what good's your gold? When everything's nuked. So, anyway, well, probably a great time to own gold actually. But let me move along here because again, going off into my little political things is not good. But it all ties into what we're doing here, folks. Let's take a look. One article on gata.org I saw, and I know, fast forward this for some of you old folks, but if you're new to my channel, first off, hit the like button, subscribe button. But if you're new to my channel, you will know that out of all the things that I request that you do, if you're listening to me, is to put the gata.org website on your bookmark bar up here, because these are the guys that know how the game is played and know how the game is fixed and know the players and all that good stuff that you need to know. So when you see those big down days, you won't panic. You won't worry about it. In fact, you'll just flip it off the back of your mind because you're not sitting on a position like I am. Or you have the luxury to wait. And that's the beauty of this game right here. And you won't have to wait that long, folks. Trust me on this. What did I want to look at real quick here? This was kind of interesting. It talks about what we just talked about. A world is awash in dollar liquidity that no one wants, and this is the problem. This is what I talked about at the beginning of the article, is the U.S. dollar being the last horse to the glue factory. Now, in the race to the glue factory. So the number one horse is really the loser in this particular race going to the glue factory, and the last horse is the winner. So to speak, not really, I guess, though, because they all go to pasture, they all get the dirt nap, and that's what we're seeing with the U.S. But I am certain, without a doubt, that the Federal Reserve, as far as and the U.S. dollar, are probably the smartest central bankers in the world. And I think that when the dust settles and when the currencies all take a giant crap and everything gets hit in a big way and inflation starts raising its head in an uglier way than we've ever seen, that the dollar will be the last unit kind of standing, or the last unit that people are going to want to use. However, when you see the dollar getting trashed like it is and the problems that we have, it doesn't inspire much confidence in the world currency system, does it? Again, great reason to own gold and silver, in my opinion. This is kind of interesting, but again, gold suspends convoy to Burkina Faso gold mine after attack. Kind of interesting, but that's Nigeria or something like Niger. I forget what country that's in, but that shouldn't surprise us. And not a lot of effects. Now, if you start to see gold mines across some third world countries that produce a large amount of gold start getting shut down, again, that's probably good for gold prices, bad for new supply. And where do we go down? And I think in tumultuous times, you could see this happen, especially in Central America, Central and South America, where you're starting to see Marxists and Socialists take more control of their governments. That's dangerous, and if they start to close gold mines or for whatever reason, then that's probably going to hurt the online supply. Silver too. Silver just as bad, I'm sure. I really believe there's as much above ground gold available as there is silver, but that's again speculative on my part. Good article to read. Again, I'm not going to read it to you on here, but Russia gold and FX reserves hit high after IMF transfer. Russia, again, what do central banks own? I've said this is a mantra I say all the time. Not a mantra, but this is what I say all the time. What do central banks own? Central banks don't own cryptocurrency in their vaults. They don't put diamonds in their vaults. They don't put art or collectibles or pre-1933 gold in their vaults. They don't put, they put gold bricks, gold bars in their vaults. Maybe coins, I doubt it, but gold bars is what they put in their vaults. And why? Because they know what real money is. That's why central banks and the Federal Reserve and all the central banks across the world own gold. And Russia has been increasing its gold supply on a huge basis. So has China. And Russia's been doing it because they're pretty smart. I mean, they're not, there's some chess moves ahead of our government, I think, in some ways too, economically for sure. I think that their central bank actually was doing the right thing. They put their people through some temporary pain, but I believe they're going to save their system a little bit better than we will. Well, the problem, I just told you that the U.S. would be the last horse to the glue factory, and then I just also said that the Russians are doing that. Kind of contradicts itself in a little way, but not really. I just think the Russians have been doing the right thing economically. They've not been pushing more and more and more now just to satisfy the masses. What they did is they put their people through some financial pain, but I think their system is a little better intact. What they've also done is they've realized that the U.S. dollar, they could be locked out of the U.S. dollar anytime. One of the biggest problems our politicians did years ago was weaponize the U.S. dollar. Listen, even when I was a kid, Russians, the Russians, when we were at the bottom of the Cold War, they loved Marlboro cigarettes, blue jeans, and they loved the U.S. dollar. Even though they probably weren't legally supposed to trade in the dollar, people all over the world loved the dollar. They would rather have the dollar than their own currency. And what we've done is, and even Russian presidents, and probably have some dollars in their top drawers and stuff like that, or did back in those days. They wanted dollars. It was real buying power. They trusted the dollar, like even if they didn't trust us, they liked the dollar. Well, we weaponized the dollar. We basically went in. Look what we did to Venezuela. We basically turned them into a poor country by locking them out of the dollar and the banking system entirely. So when you do that, countries like Russia and others say, well, they did it to Venezuela because the United States disagreed with Venezuela, they disagreed with Libya, so those guys got locked out of the system. What's stopping the United States from doing that to us? And that's the question that the Russians and the Chinese and other countries probably got to be asking themselves. What is stopping the United States from locking us out of the dollar? So what do they do to protect themselves? They buy gold. Think about this. Chinese and the Russian government have been buying gold because they know they could be locked out of the dollar system anytime. And again, what does our central banks own? Gold, folks. I know you've heard this before, and some of you probably wanted to fast forward this, but you got to be reminded of this. And this is why gold is not going anywhere. It's not going to go Chapter 7, not going to Chapter 11. It's going to out-survive our governments, other governments, and paper monies, and us, too. Ooh, boy, I went off on that a little bit, didn't I? Yesterday's video was wealth preservation, and I know some of you didn't watch it because I talk about wealth preservation versus a casino all the time. However, I did have some good content in there, and I had some other things that just wasn't about wealth preservation. So some of you guys that have watched my videos before that missed it, I didn't just talk, again, you heard me talk about wealth preservation all the time. It was just the kind of title of the show. But we got a hell of a lot of comments yesterday for a small view show. And again, when I say a lot of comments and a lot of views, it's for me, my little local show. I'm just a poor old country coin dealer trying to eke out a living in the big city. So my dad used to say that. That's where I got that from. Let's take a look here and go down the line here. First, as always, I like to thank every one of you for commenting and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. I guess Mr. Water Bottle came here, loved my shop, came lucky to live in South Florida, purchased some Britannias. Yeah, I still got a great deal. Not got a lot of them left, but for my local customers that deal with me, I've got some Britannias I can give you for the same exact price. Beautiful coin, beautiful packaging, a great frickin' deal. I can give you for the same price as generic 1-ounce rounds. And some of you have been coming in here. It's nice to see you coming in. Thanks, Water Bottle. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your business, too. Besides watching. Silver Loving Lou says, just a little lull before the holiday rush. Keep stacking. Well, Lou, I think you nailed it today on Friday because we've got our up day for sure. Hey, G, what's up? Appreciate it. And D followed. Great video. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that as well. You guys are great commenters and great watchers. I guess that's the term to use. Dr. Dogwell Hunt, you should read the prospectus of a Sprott's PSL Silver before you talk about it. Well, guess what, sir? I did. I should have read it 20 years ago when I bought Sprott because, again, if you watch yesterday's video, I went into Sprott a little bit. Not trashing him. More or less, I trashed myself for not understanding what Sprott PSL Silver is. And for any of you that don't own it, and as Dr. Dog Hunt says right here, read the prospectus. It's not what I thought it was. In fact, as I said yesterday, I lost money on PSLV, even though silver was around $14 when I bought it. I guess I didn't understand exactly how their Trust, not trust, works. But I did read the, God, it was boring as hell too, Dr. Dogwalk. I did read the prospectus. You made a great point there. I should have done it then. I didn't. I kind of threw it off my shoulder, say I didn't understand it, what the hell. But I read it, and it was not the investment that I should have made, unfortunately. Thanks for watching, sir, and thanks for the comment. It was an excellent comment, and again, I did read it. I read you guys' comments, and I take advice, folks, when I think I can learn something. Thanks again. Tree Climber says, love the fish, so does my lemon and tartar sauce. I love tartar sauce, man. That's I put tartar sauce on any kind of fish. I don't care what it is. I mean, not always, but I like tartar sauce for sure. So, and I also think my fish look best with tartar sauce, dressed in tartar sauce too. Yeah, I'm loving the price of action on metals as well. And again, on a second channel, I'm still thinking these videos, I do them every day, man, and I just kind of wing it. We don't really edit them. If I mess up or screw up or sound like an idiot, hey, that's it. But you know, doing another video, doing it twice a day, I'm not sure. But I kind of might like to. I like politics and economics. I'd like to do a video, daily video on politics and economics. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. See how busy I get. Thanks for watching, Tree Climber. Not your problem. Hey, I like that name, and he stopped by and buy some generic silvers for some of his family members, and we gave him Britannias. Here's a gentleman, not your problem, that took advantage of our Britannias right now that we have for the same price as generics. It's a great deal, and thanks for coming in, not your problem. I really appreciate your business and your recommendation here. That was very nice of you. And what are these things? Anybody know? I don't dare click them, but it says what's a VUM.FYI? Someone let me know in the comments. I'm so afraid of clicking anything I'm not sure of anymore. But I get these every once in a while, and I forget to remove them, so sorry about that one. Unless it's something I need to know. Captain Brad, buying precious metals, not about returns, about that's a great kind of statement, Captain Brad. Buying precious metals is not about return on your investment. It's about return of your investment. I know that sounds crazy on someone, but it's about returning your investment, keeping your investment, preserving your wealth. And it's on sale, absolutely. Gee, nice to see you there, bud. Let's see. I found a few coins that are 1 ounce, 24 karat, paying $63 per gram. What is your opinion? Gosh, I don't know. I don't have my calculator to do the math. I don't really think in grams. I think in ounces mostly. So 31.1 times 63 would give you your price per ounce. If you're paying more than $80 to $100 over the price per ounce for that, it's too much G. But again, you're in a different location, so I can't tell you for sure. But just multiply 63 times 31.1. It should tell you what your per ounce is paying. And if that per ounce price is above $100, yeah, I think there's some better deals out there. Yeah, that's cool, picking up old Greek coins, but make sure they're real. There's a lot of even good-intentioned dealers out there that can't tell a real ancient coin from a fake one. Tough for me on some of them, too, and I've been doing this a long time, so make sure you bought something real. That's the only thing I say, especially numismatics. Don Robinson's numerous comments today that constitute sound advice. Thank you, sir. My Yoda local coin star was Claude Ray, Winter Haven, circa 61 through 67. You know, I was just going to ask my father. My father, you know, is a coin dealer, and I learned from him, and I'm a second-generation coin dealer and precious metal dealer. I'm going to ask my dad if he knew Claude. I'll try to remember that. Thanks for making that comment, Don. Appreciate it. Inspector Jason says, that's right, Brian. Put them in their place. Pre-33 is a joke. Great prices for collectors, not for stackers. Absolutely true. I'll get into that in a moment, what my opinion on 33 gold is. I talked about that yesterday and a few times in different videos. Super advice as always. What should be common sense in a lot of cases, but plain and firmly explained. Love it. Hey, thanks, Eric. Appreciate that again, too. I missed the coin toss, I think, yesterday. Gosh, some people like to spin. You know what? Celeste, since you asked for it, I'm going to give you the coin spin here. And I'm going to put the microphone a little further away. Let's see what the coin says today. Let's use it for New York close. And, oh, well, it fell in my hand. Says a bear. I think the coin's full of crap today. Sorry about that, Celeste. Okay. And Eric, love to see me do a political channel. You know, I'm thinking about it again. Instead of the fish cam, I should do a beach cam, beach bikinis. I have to do it on Saturday. There's no bikinis around here on weekdays for the most part, except during spring break. Just figured I'd give you that information, Eric. Bob Myers says, but yeah, I'm going to think about doing another show at some point. Actually, I might start doing these shows, start doing some live shows, or I forget what they call it, live YouTube or something. I've seen a few guys doing it out there. And since I don't edit these shows anyway and I wing it and I'm not afraid of screwing up and making myself sound like a fool, it doesn't bother me that much. I may end up doing a live show sometime. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. Bob Meyer says, what amount of silver and gold can you sell without it being reported? Well, took a sip of coffee there. Without it being reported. When you sell precious metals, there's different products that there's a broker reporting law years and years ago, which is completely nonsense, makes no sense. It exempts certain products, and it says that certain products have to be recorded. But there's really no reporting things per se until you get over 25 ounces in certain products in gold. Other stuff is exempt. It's a broker reporting law that was created by an IRS agent, and the IRS back, I don't know, 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. Ridiculous. Again, it exempts other products. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, there is some regulation out there. However, if you're selling under 25 ounces to anyone, no matter what the product is in gold, there is no reporting whatsoever. And I'm not telling you that so you can avoid it. I'm just telling you what the facts are. Under 25 grand, if you sell to a dealer, they're not going to write a 1099 no matter what it is, because it's not the law. And besides, that law is absolutely fucking ridiculous anyway. So, hey, thanks for watching, Bob. Own Nothing to Be Happy says, love the channel. Yeah, thanks, man. When the shit hits the fan, third-party trust can get really smelly fast. Absolutely. As I said yesterday, I also talked about, almost losing a lot of my money, 6 figures of my money with a company I trusted. I still trust them, but they got taken down by someone else. So even the most well-intentioned companies that have your money, it's third-party risk, folks. If someone takes them out, you're out with them. So remember that. Joey, hey Joey, thanks, I appreciate that. And one day they wake up and say they live in Weimar, Germany, and the dollar has hype. I hope it doesn't happen in our lifetime. What we've seen since 1913 and since 1972, and when Nixon took us off the dollar officially, is the decline in the value of the dollar, the decline in the dollar empire. And what we're seeing in the last several years, since 2008, actually the last decade plus, and more so, and we're seeing more so now, is the rapid decline. However, as I said before, we are in decline. The decline of the political empire, the decline of the economic empire. However, where are we in that free fall? Are we halfway down to hit the ground? Are we near the ground? I don't know. I know we're past the apex. Again, that's my opinion. Thanks for watching, Joey, and I appreciate the coffee comments. It reminds me to keep my whistle wet here. How much resale value is a government silver mint coin? Philharmonic, Kangaroo, Krugerrand, worth over a generic silver round to stack. $2. It seems like they're worth $1 in price. I buy them over the generics. If generics are $2 difference price, I buy a generic. That's not a brand. That's a good idea. Like Krugerrands, for example. Krugerrands are now like $5 cheaper than bars. And although I always preach about buying the least expensive product, for $5, what is $5 anymore? It doesn't mean shit. You can't buy, you can't even buy a Happy Meal with $5. Maybe you can, I don't know. But for $5 on a gold Krugerrand, to go from a gold Krugerrand or a bar to a Krugerrand, I'd rather go with KRs. Because people are more comfortable with KRs under the assumption it's a coin and it's safer. Not that that's true. It's just that, why not for the extra $5? And if you're buying, well, also too, Brand, if you're, how much are you buying? If you're just paying $1 more on generics and you're buying, a couple of ounces, sure, why not? But $100, 100 ounces, if you're paying $1 more, that's 100 ounces. I mean, that's $100, man, and you could buy yourself another 4 ounces of silver. So no, I wouldn't do it. My strategy is always buy the least expensive, and again, you're talking $1 on the price of silver versus $5 on gold. That's the difference between the Krugerrand and the bar. Gold's way more expensive. $5 is not a huge jump, but $1 on silver, even at 20-something dollars, is a big jump. And you buy 100 ounces, at $1 more, that's $100, man. That's 4 more ounces. So no, I'd stick with the cheap stuff, Brand. That's my opinion. Hey, Mark, hope you're feeling better. And thanks. And your question is, if the price of gold being over 1,800, would you still try and add more or just keep loading up on silver? I like both metals. I'm not going to say one or the other. The old financial advisors back in the day used to say 10 to 15% of your money should be in gold and silver coins and bars. I never really knew what gold, they said, and silver. But silver is the working man's money. So I don't know how to tell you to split it up. I mean, gold's nice because it's compact, easy to store, but silver, I think there's good chances for a double up. I can't give you advice on that, sir. I'm not a financial advisor anyway, but my opinion is just whatever you're more comfortable with. As long as you're in gold and silver, I think you're fine. They're both relative to each other. Thanks for watching, Mark. Again, hope you're feeling better. Mike Matthews, thanks, man. Sorry to ask, and don't be sorry to ask any questions, folks, no matter who you are or where you are. Pre-1933 gold queen BU for $400. Again, Mark, tough to say, but just Mark, you got to do the gold price. Just multiply that 0.1947 times the price of gold and see how much more they're asking for the premium. Premium's too much, don't buy it. Silver breakout is like watching maple syrup production from tapping trees to the checkout at Walmart. So much patience, yeah, but the problem is, I think Last Living Cowboy is that people don't have patience, and people get into silver and precious metals for the wrong reason. You know, like they're the crypto folks that got in there to get rich quick, and then found out, hey, I'm not getting rich quick. In fact, I'm losing money. You know, I don't think you're going to lose money in precious metals, but the problem with the that attitude is that you know, again, it is maple syrup, kind of, until it's not. Until the fire gets turned on, you wake up one morning and it's just crazy. But as I said, this is about wealth preservation. If you're in it for wealth preservation, then you don't worry about it being slow as maple syrup. You just understand that you've got something solid. You got good, solid ground under your feet. Thanks for watching, Last Living Cowboy. Oh, the distraction is my wife. Yeah, I get that, man. Oh, I love my girl too, so I get it. Lastly, most sharks are good eating stuff there as well. And I saw a hammerhead the other day. And Johnny Gore says, you taught me a lot in 7 months. I started the monkey hammer. I was able to buy my first town sport. That's great to hear, man. And I'm glad you guys are finding local coin stores to deal with. Even, as I said, even if you have to drive outside your immediate area to find a local coin store, local bullion dealer, I advise you do it. Make sure they have a little experience. They've been around for some time. And, of course, you got to get along with them. The other thing I can recommend is, you know, get chummy with them. It's always a good idea, even if they're not that chummy and they're a little grumpy, is to get friendly with them, because loyalty pays, and these guys will remember you. And not everyone's going to be like me. So, you know, some guys, again, may be grumpy. You may have a grumpy local coin store, but as long as the prices are good and they're willing to deal with you, you know, you'll warm up to them. Mr. Limpet, absolutely. You know what Limpet is. I know what Limpets are. Hey, hey, thanks for calling, Bill. You said you called 5 minutes ago. That's pretty cool. Sorry about that. I missed it. Again, doing videos, got things to do in the morning, but appreciate your call. Well, let's move into what I want to talk about. Don't buy the lie. And what am I talking about when I say don't buy the lie? Well, don't buy pre-1933 gold. I mean, there's so many things we could say don't buy the lie. Don't buy the lie of jawboning by the Fed. Don't buy the lie of the government about this or that. Don't buy. But this particular don't buy the lie is don't buy pre-33 gold under the auspices that they can't confiscate it, and that's the reason you should buy it, because that whole spiel is bullshit. Pre-33 gold is overpriced. Only good for people that are collecting coins. If you're buying just to stack gold and silver, you're buying as a hedge against the dollar, a hedge against potential problems, black swans in the future. You do not buy pre-33 gold, period. And again, anyone, and there's people that do videos on pre-33 gold, they sell the stuff. I'm sorry, they're just giving you bad advice. And the reason they're giving you bad advice is because it puts more money in their pocket. Avoid pre-33 gold unless you can buy it. Unless you can buy a $20 gold piece for $100 over the price and melt, maybe $125 like the price of a gold eagle is now, then it's not a bad deal. But if you're not a coin collector, stay the hell away from that stuff. Stick with buying your gold bars and stuff. Same thing with ETFs, in my opinion. Again, not a financial advisor, but in my opinion, that's not gold, folks. That's not silver. ETFs are not real metals. Now, PSLV Sprott, when I had bought it at the time, I thought, oh, there's one I can buy that has real. But again, as I said earlier, it's not what you think it is. So as far as ETFs go, and I like Sprott. I think they're a good company. It's just not what you think it is. As far as ETFs go and that kind of thing, stay the hell away from that stuff. Don't play their stupid paper game. All you're doing is keeping them in business and encouraging them to keep up the ridiculous sham that they do. Again, my opinion. So don't buy the lies, folks. Buy from your local dealers and buy the cheapest coins and bars that you can, legitimate coins and bars you can. As you know, I'm a local dealer, and some of you are going to fast forward this or stop listening, but because I say this all the time, keep it local, folks. Best deals out there in gold right now, or any kind of gold bars, real bars and coins. This is why I want you to deal with experienced coin dealers, because there is fake stuff out there as well, and you're not going to get it. I know you're going to say, well, I can buy it on eBay. You know, oh, I saw one on eBay for $50 cheaper, $20. Trust me, folks, buy from an experienced dealer. You know, that one deal that you saved $100 on for gold or silver, whatever it is, if it's fake, it could wipe out all the great deals that you bought so far. So just buy from local experienced people. That's my opinion. As far as buying online, I advertise to beat APMEX, JM Bullion, SD Bullion. They're great companies, don't get me wrong. As far as I know, they're good companies. But I want to keep that money local, and I want to be competitive, and I don't want my customers locally buying from those guys. I'd rather have them spending the money here. So what do? I'll give them a better deal than my local customers get a better deal than they get anywhere online and from my local competition. Not only do they get a better deal, they will get good advice and loyalty. People that are loyal to me, I'll be loyal to them as well. And that's what I was talking about earlier. So find yourself a good local dealer if you don't have one. And that means even if you have to drive an hour, because the issue that you may have is you may be buying from these online dealers, and the prices aren't bad, even though I'll beat them. Again, if you live in my area only. But who are you going to sell to when you want to sell? You gonna mail your stuff to these guys? Not that I don't trust these guys. I just don't trust the shipping system, quite frankly, and I don't see how logistically they can lock in a price for you, and if something changed, again, there's no substitute for dealing face-to-face, none whatsoever. Keep it local, even jewelry, tires, whatever. Stop buying off Amazon. I've gone from buying stuff on Amazon to maybe buying something once every blue moon from Amazon. I'd rather buy it local, even if I have to pay more, because I know that money gets spent locally. Well, that's it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime at 954-493-8811. If you live local, I'd happy to help you out with any questions that you have. Again, come on in and we'll give you a great deal as well. If you don't live in my area and you got some questions to ask, please ask me in comments. As you know, I do answer my comments. I do read them as of right now, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. If you're in a situation, you don't live in my area and you got ripped off, or you need some really serious help, I don't mind if you give me a call. I'm happy to help you out as well, too. Well, that's really about it. I'm going to have a great... Oh, I bought a motorcycle, by the way. Just to have some fun on it. I haven't owned one for 25 years, so I'm going to go out and just cruise around and have a good time this weekend as well. But I hope you do the same. Have yourself a safe, wonderful Labor Day weekend, and I'll do the same, and we'll get back and talk to you on... I won't be doing a show on Monday. The show will be done on Tuesday. I'm going to take 3 days off this week. But thanks, folks. Have a great day, and I appreciate everybody that watches and everybody that likes and subscribes. I really do. Talk to you later. Bye.